Have you ever noticed that running your own business brings out reactions in you that feel bigger than the situation? Maybe you find yourself overworking, constantly checking emails, struggling to raise your prices, or even procrastinating on things that you know would help your business grow. Most entrepreneurs assume these things are productivity problems or mindset problem, but often there is something deeper. These are attachment patterns. And if you are an entrepreneur, your business practices might be activating them more than you realize. If you're new here, I'm Shara. I'm a therapist, a business owner, and I work with lots of entrepreneurs and professionals who are navigating both personal growth and business growth at the same time. One thing I've noticed over and over again is that entrepreneurship does not just test your business skills, it also tests your nervous system, your confidence, and the way that you relate to people. Today, we're starting a 4-part series where we're going to talk about attachment styles in entrepreneurship. In this first video, we are focusing on awareness and going to talk about what attachment is and why it shows up in business more than people expect. So I actually started noticing this pattern in myself before I ever started talking about it professionally. When I began running my own private practice, there were moments when I was realizing I was making decisions that weren't fully aligned with the things that I actually wanted. So for example, there will be times where I would schedule clients and I really didn't want to see clients at that time slot. I would also even sometimes undercharge, not wanting to feel judged if someone wasn't impressed with the session that I gave them. And even now, I notice how easy it is to keep working even after hours because I want everything to just be perfect, everything in a specific order. As I started working with more entrepreneurs, I began to realize we all have a pretty similar story. They talked about feeling afraid to launch their business, they worried about being judged, and they even delayed putting their work out there because it didn't feel perfect yet. A lot of the struggles that we face as entrepreneurs are not just about business strategy, they are about attachment. Most entrepreneurs start their business feeling really excited. There's a lot of energy around the idea of freedom and creativity and being able to put that into something that they're building and making their own. In the beginning, that excitement can kind of carry you for a while, right? Going off of adrenaline. But eventually that newness starts to wear off and the real work begins. This is often when people start to feel something shift internally. Tasks that once seemed really straightforward now feel really overwhelming. Setting prices might feel uncomfortable, launching a service might cause some hesitation, and posting online might even provoke a little bit of anxiety. For other entrepreneurs, these feelings build gradually. Each stressful moment and experience is piling on top of each other, and eventually they start to feel really overwhelming, right? You start to wonder what exactly is going on here. Some don't even notice this pattern until someone else is pointing it out, whether it's a mentor, a colleague, or even a therapist, right? They're recognizing that there's certain behaviors that keep repeating themselves. Attachment refers to the way that we learn to connect with others based on early caregiving experiences. So these early relationships shape how we experience trust, safety, connection, and even vulnerability. Most people hear attachment in the context of relationships, specifically romantic relationships, but attachment can also show up professionally in the relationships that we have as we connect through business. So entrepreneurs are constantly navigating situations that involve connection and vulnerability. You're building relationships with clients, you're putting yourself in front of people, you're receiving lots of feedback and sometimes even criticism, and you're setting boundaries and asking people to trust what it is that you actually have to offer. All of these experiences can activate some attachment patterns. Some entrepreneurs notice they are constantly seeking validation. They might check reviews frequently or monitor their social media engagement to see if people are responding to their work and how are they responding to their work. Others struggle with people pleasing. This might look like adjusting your schedule to accommodate clients or avoiding difficult conversations or having trouble simply just saying no. Perfectionism and overworking are also very common. Some entrepreneurs spend excessive time refining their work before sharing it publicly. That can delay launches or slow down the growth of their business. Avoidance can show up as procrastination or hesitation around committing to a business direction. And some entrepreneurs develop hyper independence. They're trying to do everything themselves and avoid asking for help, even when support would make things much easier. The behavior itself is not always the issue. What often reveals an insecure attachment pattern is the frequency, intensity, and the emotional charge connected to the behavior. Entrepreneurship naturally requires vulnerability. You have to take risks, you have to make decisions, you have to believe in the value of what it is that you're offering. Your work becomes visible to others, and that opens doors for judgment, rejection, and criticism. For everyone, this can bring up some anxiety, but when someone already has an insecure attachment pattern, these situations can activate deeper relational fears. Entrepreneurship challenges people to trust themselves, trust others, and to tolerate uncertainty. That is why so many entrepreneurs notice emotional patterns appearing that they didn't even expect. Secure attachment in business does not mean that you never feel anxious or uncertain. It means that you can navigate those feelings without losing your sense of direction. Secure entrepreneurs can set boundaries with clients and still maintain good relationships. You'll be able to express your needs, collaborate with others, and ask for help when it's necessary. Where you will be able to make appropriate risks and remain open to connection rather than operating from fear. You have a stable sense of self-worth when promoting your services and pricing your work. Those patterns create a business that feels sustainable instead of constantly overwhelming. As an entrepreneur, you may find yourself wanting to prove that your past does not define you. You may want to move forward more quickly, but ignoring the past doesn't remove its influence. When earlier experiences remain unexamined, they often continue to shape our automatic responses. Acknowledging those experiences creates something really, really important. It creates choice. Without awareness, people operate from an automatic response shaped by their earlier experience. When you begin to recognize those patterns, you gain this ability to interrupt it. And that does not just make you a better leader of your business, but a better leader of yourself. In the next video of this series, we're going to go a little bit deeper into attachment wounds. We will talk about experiences like inconsistent or emotionally absent caregivers that can shape relational patterns later in life. And we will explore how those wounds can quietly influence the way entrepreneurs relate to clients, peers, and their own work. If you are an entrepreneur and you have noticed patterns like people-pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination, or fear of visibility showing up in your business, I would love to hear all about your experience. Let me know in the comments what you have noticed in yourself, and if this topic resonates with you, make sure you subscribe because the next videos in this series are going to be built on this conversation, but going a little bit deeper.